So that's why I pulled the trigger. I knew that it was going to be so much more than just selling real estate. It was going to be building a company with other like-minded individuals and entrepreneurs around the world.
Other than kind of the ability to be part of the growth of the company, what were some of the main reasons why you decided to make a change? Ed Stulak, what's up, buddy?
Yo, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing good. Pumped to chat.
I am excited to chat with you as well because you were one of the first people that came over like right before I did to Real. So you've been here since early 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. 5 years just hit March 1st.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild.
I feel like when I saw your announcement, we had like made the decision we were coming over, and I was like, dang, like he announced like a month before me, you know?
Yeah, that was such a fun time. I didn't know if I was going to actually do it or not, but had good conversations, and then people convinced me, and here we are.
Here we are. So what did that look like for you? I mean, that 5 years ago, like the company, is certainly not what it is today.
Right.
I think there is a lot that we kind of had to get through as far as like opening in all 50 states, opening in different provinces, opening in Canada. So tell me a little bit about kind of like your decision making 5+ years ago.
I think a lot of people have the same philosophy in the beginning, which, when switching from any brokerage to a new one is like, is this really going to work? Is this really going to be the new spot that I'm staying at? Am I going to be here forever? A lot of people say they're going to be somewhere forever, and then things change, and that's fine. I didn't make the move to Real saying this is going to be my forever move. But the longer I'm here, the more I'm realizing, yeah, it is. Just the people here are too good. But anywho, the decision-making process, I was at Remax, love Remax, still do till today. I don't have a tattoo of it on my thigh like some people might. But,
we didn't even talk about that in Bob's video. So
really, wow, shout out to Bob Tompkins for not revealing his weaknesses. But yeah, so I love Remax though. It is a great company, love them. I just saw more opportunities in this Real company thing, which at the time there was maybe 1,000 agents when I was discussing it with people like Bob, like Tim Macy, like Brad McCallum, like even Tamir, right, the CEO. Like I was chatting with people like this, and I'm, like there's something different here as opposed to any other agency that I just sign up as a realtor, and that is all I am deemed upon as is another realtor. I want to be more. I want Ed to do more than just sell real estate. I want to be a part of a company that is doing so much more on the back end. So that's why I pulled the trigger. I knew that it was going to be so much more than just selling real estate. It was going to be building a company with other like-minded individuals and entrepreneurs around the world.
Yeah. And as I said, like, I think that looks a lot different today than it did 5 years ago, because there was a lot of like getting states open and finding brokers and dealing with like the infrastructure still being built. So it's always funny today when like things don't always go as planned, or like, a payment goes missing or something like that. I'm like, man, like one payment out of how many thousands of payments that are processed each day is far different than like one payment going right, which I feel like sometimes that's what it felt like back in 2021.
That's for sure. Honestly, in the beginning, when there were problems happening, I'm like, well, this is part of picking up a shovel and digging the foundation to this company. I mean, of course, it's fine. So now 5 years later, when new problems occur, or whatever they are, right? Cultural problems, we have technical problems, we have model situations that we need to evolve. Every company goes through this, but I think we are definitely going through it a lot more because we're at a point where we're trying to really differentiate ourselves from everyone else out there, and we're doing a really stellar job. But now that when problems occur to us, it's like, oh, well, of course, like, let's fix it. Everyone else is like, oh my God, what the hell are we going to do? Freaking out. No, it's all good. I think where you and I came into this picture, and plus just our entrepreneurial mindsets, I think we're a little bit more sustainable in the sense of, all right, problems come, we will solve them. Let's continue to move on. But not everyone does that. So, yeah.
Definitely. All right. So other than kind of the ability to be part of the growth of the company, what were some of the main reasons why you decided to make a change? Because I think that like there were many people that it was surprising to see them make a move, you being one of them, because you were such a proponent for Remax. And I know like you and Bob had been at like R4 like months before, so it seemed kind of like it was, I don't want to say out of the blue, because I know that a lot of time and thought went into it, but for from an outside perspective looking in, it looks like it was like, oh damn, like I never thought Ed would be someone who would move to a model like this or move here kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
So what other decisions kind of went through your mind on making a change?
I'll two things. First one, which I think a lot of people that are even watching this can relate to, and the other one was a little bit more of a personal decision. So I'll start with the first one. The first one is the fact that at Remax, I recruited 5 people to the company in my 2 years that I was at Remax. 2 of them which were in state here in New Jersey, that's where I'm at, and 3 out of town, out of state. So I think 2 were in California and 1 somewhere else. But these were just people on social media that were like, Ed, you're at Remax, so you're obviously an advocate of it. Is it a good company? I said, I love it. Sure, let's go, join. And they did. And all I got was a thank you.
Yeah.
And then I did it for my company, my actual brokerage in New Jersey. And my broker at the time rewarded me a Starbucks gift card for doing so. And I'm like, all right, well, there's obviously some sort of benefit if these people come over. Wouldn't it be incentivizing to me if I brought over more people? But like, I got more than just a Starbucks gift card. Like, how about money? And finally, I saw a company, whether it was another company out there that attracts agents or Real. And Real just seemed to be such a more humble decision for me. The leadership was more humble. They were nice. They were proud of what they were building. And they knew that they were nowhere near where they wanted to be still. So that was one component to me, is I saw the whole attraction piece being a big thing. Being a social media person, having a brand that I knew I have conversations a lot, and I can bring a hell of a lot more people to a company as opposed to just 5. And I want more for it. Real was the one that said, listen, we will pay you if you do this. So that was reason number 1. Reason number 2, at the time when I was at Remax, there was a guy named Ricky Carruth, big player in the industry.
Yep.
He was already a big player at Remax at the time, and he wasn't getting the love or the exposure as I thought he deserved. So if Ricky wasn't speaking on the main stage and getting all that attention, I was so far behind him. I'm like, if he's not getting it, I'm not getting it either. That was the second decision, is I wanted to make sure that I'm part of a company that actually listens to me and hears my opinion. Doesn't know what to do what I say, but like, listen to me. I'm an agent. I sell houses every day. Like, I have things to say. Listen to what I have to say. And on top of that, I want to help more people out there, like social media, marketing, branding. I want to teach others. Like, Remax, hello, I'm hungry to do it, please. So I saw Ricky doing a lot more than I was, and he didn't get the love. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Well, I mean, and I think that when you kind of look at like the company as a whole and kind of where focus is, I don't know that some of, not just Remax, but many of the kind of more traditional brokerages like put as much of an emphasis on, social media and marketing and personal brand. I always, whenever I'm talking to people at other brokerages, like, I know that there's many brokerages out there that, like, when you go to make your yard signs, like, the brokerage logo has to be at least half the size of the sign. Right. And then yours can be a quarter of the, brokerage logo or something like that. Right. Or it can be a byline at the bottom. And I know for Real, it's like, as long as it's state compliant, they're totally cool with you not doing whatever you want, but like you doing whatever is legal in your state. And that's something for a lot of people that I've talked to that's huge. Like, especially as there's a lot of mergers and acquisitions and things like that happening. Like, what may have been okay at their brokerage for a while then is no longer okay because a new company owns them. And they're like, man, this is not what I signed up for. So I think that that's huge. And that's definitely, something that isn't as people don't think about it as much, and then like once it happens to them, they're like, oh shit, this is something that's actually important to me.
I would say the third component for sure, and again, I have multiple reasons, but those are the top 2 that in the moment. The third one absolutely was, I am a designer. Like, I have vision for how I want to make my business cards, how I want to make my mailers. I have a certain vision. Let me do it my way, and like, let me do business. But Remax at the time was like, oh, you got to do red, white, and blue.
This is how it is. Which is funny now if we look at it. Your team logo is red, white, and black, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. it sure is. Where is it?
Not to like call you out or anything, but
close enough. Yeah, it's that.
Your location fan kind of looks like a balloon, if you ask me. No, I'm kidding.
Like
All
I'm in
right. So
person.
one of the pieces that you mentioned was, agent attraction and how just naturally you were having a lot of brokerage conversations. I always remember back, and I've seen you do it more recently too, but I remember back then, like you would post something of like, hey, I'm looking for an agent in this city. And then like minutes later, you'd be like, all right, I got a few, thanks so much. And so you had and still have a great reach with agents. So I'm sure although you only brought 5 people to Remax, you're probably having hundreds of conversations a year about brokerage, about people being like, yo, what do you think about this? Or I think I'm moving here, just because you're very like present and out there in the agent world. So coming over here, I know you have like over 1,000 agents that have joined you at Real. What do you feel like is kind of some of the key components with that? Because I think that like agent attraction is something that everyone is interested in doing, right? But like you have to have both the want to do it and then the ability to do it. And not everyone either has both or like fully understands it. So
Yeah.
what do you think has been some of the reasons why you've been successful with bringing, 1,000 people to the company?
I have a lot of conversations, but in those conversations, I'm not pitching, I'm not selling, I'm just listening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being more so of an advisor as opposed to a attractor at Real. Recently, what I've been doing over the past, I would say 2 years maybe, is the conversations I have is I say something like this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. It's not just a script; it's genuine. I say something like, "Hey, Katie, listen, the conversation we'll have. I want you to know the first hat that I'm wearing is the first one that's important, and that's the real estate advisor. Like, I just want to make sure that you understand that I am advising you to do what's best for you and your business after we chat. So, like, if real makes sense, great. If it doesn't make sense, great. I want you to go where it makes sense. Two, I'm your friend. Like, I want to talk friend to friend. I will tell you how a friend would tell you, hey, dude, like, don't go out with that person, or like, hey, don't do business with him. Like, he's no good. Like, I will be a friend. And number three, I'll be an agent at Real, and I'll tell you everything we have to offer. Is that cool? And that usually kind of lowers the guard. And it's like, oh, okay, Ed is not just trying to attract and pitch me. He's like, he's going to look out for my best interest. Cool, let's chat. So that's how I go about these conversations that I have nowadays is I'm your advisor, I'm a friend, and then I'm an agent at Real.
Well, and I mean, I don't know about you, but like I've hopped on many calls where people are like, sell me Real. And I'm like,
Mhm.
like that's not really how this works, like that's
Yeah.
not really. So I love that as kind of the framework of like, hey, I'm going to tell you what's like everything that we have to offer. But then like if this isn't the right fit, I'm also going to tell you that, right? Because like I think that there are I don't know if you ever get this question, but I often get the question like, what's the best type of agent, for Real, or what's your favorite type of agent to bring on, or like people are trying to see like, is this the right fit for me? And I'm like, hey, like in my mind, I think that Real is the best fit for individual agents, for small teams, for mega teams, for indie brokerages. Like we have like a menu of options that can
Mhm.
help almost anyone in this industry, but not everyone, like it's not always the best fit for everyone, and I
Right.
think a lot of the conversations were, and it's like, how do we get the people that are here also more ingrained into all of the stuff we have to offer? Because some people come over because like the numbers work and they don't even know everything that's available
Oh
to be
yeah.
able to help them and help their teams grow and help them attract agents and do all this other stuff.
Right, right. So again, coming back to what helps me still continue to attract 1,000+ agents today, it's not easy, but it's another business model that you have to understand that is separate from your real estate sales hat.
Mm-hmm.
It functions similarly. When I
Yeah.
talk to a buyer and a seller, when I wear my real estate hat, I'm trying to find out if this is the best time to buy or sell, if this is the best location to buy and sell, and if this is the best time for them and their family and their future family, whatever. Like for an agent, it's very similar conversations. Is Real truly the best fit for what you're looking to do? You want to invest into real estate. You want to learn how to do more of that. You want to start attracting. You want to build a team. We have those things that we can help you with. If you hit me with I want a in-person location, I just need a broker at all times, I'm going to ask 30 questions a week, you should probably find that local mom and pop shop around the corner. They're probably going to be a really good fit for you. Like,
Yeah.
again, being an advisor, but then also being the best sponsor you possibly can be. So how would I want my sponsor to be to me? I want to know that my sponsor is picking up the phone when I call them. I want to know that I can go to them for anything above the under the sun, right? Like I want to make sure that I can go to them and be that resource. I need help. I need a connection. I want to speak somewhere. I want to do something. I need help with a conversation. I want to know that they can be leaned on. So that's what I want to do for my agents. And from that, it's just building a community that knows that we're not satisfied with how much we've grown so far. Let's continue to push this thing to the next level. So if that answers that.
I feel like you were like, I could do more. I like you're like you're on a roll there. I like it. I like it. What do you feel like is the most like unexpected thing, right? Like I think that, in coming over here, everyone not has expectations, but like, you kind of have your idea of what it's going to be or what it's going to look like.
Mhm.
And then like, now that you've been here for 5 years, what's something that maybe you thought was going to be, but it's not, or you're like happy and surprised at kind of thing? Like,
Um, well, there's good and bads, right? Like in the beginning, we knew that there were going to be hiccups along the road. I wasn't expecting what kind of hiccups were going to be on this road. I knew that we were going to have a little bit of slow growth. I knew that agents were going to leave. I knew that we were going to run into technical problems and model issues and broker role models, right? Oh, my broker is bad. Oh, I need a new one. I can't rely on my broker. Oh, Real's going down. The scandals, the law, like these things are just wow. Like okay, somehow, some shape or form, they were in my mind that maybe something will happen, but to these degrees, and then them actually happening, like how do we overcome that? How do we battle that? And that's what has helped me become an even better leader than I have been, is because these were uncomfortable hiccups. And they were hiccups that made me a better leader. Because out of the 1,000 agents that I have, and so many others that are not in my network, just the real family, right? Like you and I, we have no affiliation besides the fact that we wear real and we're a family in that sense. Like we go to each other for problems. So I've had those agents too. And they
yeah.
come to me and say, Ed, now what? And that's when I have to make that fork in the road decision. Like, do I freak out with them or do I, no, 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 this will be good. This is great. This is
Yeah.
awesome. And here's why. And so I've
Yeah.
always taken that route because that's what a leader would do. Funny enough, I was watching Saving Private Ryan for like the 38th time, and I was on a
Only
flight,
38 times?
only 38, and I'll watch the 39th on the way to San Antonio in like a week and a half. But I was watching it on the flight, and I think the captain was saying, his soldiers were asking him like, hey man, like why aren't you griping? Like why, like we're over here freaking out about everything that's happening. Our buddy just got killed in action. Like it's unfortunate. You're playing it really cool. Why? And he's like, I only gripe to my superiors. I don't gripe to my soldiers. Like I'm never going to let you guys see my downfalls or my weaknesses. I'll show it to my superiors because then they'll show me how to lead properly. And I'm like, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. If you're a leader, just continue to move forward. Don't gripe, don't show your weaknesses, just continue to move forward and build upon what has happened. So that's what I've unexpected during this growth at Real. It's like all these hiccups that did happen, I didn't expect them to happen, first of all, and second of all, I didn't expect me to overcome them and be a better leader than I have been.
I think one of the things too that I always try to focus in on, and sometimes it's like the side text to the group text or the side text to a bigger conversation,
Mhm.
is like it's cool to complain, right? It's cool to like bring something to everyone's attention, right? But like I also feel like you need to have a solution. And so that's something that like was always kind of a thing with the team, right? It's like, okay, hey, if like you have something that either like we're not doing maybe in the most efficient way, or it seems like it's a broken process, like that's cool to point it out. But like you also need to come with like an idea or two on how we can fix it. And I feel like there are some people, as you said, that it's just like it's always a gripe or it's always a, kind of freak out moment. And it's like, okay, but like, have you thought more about this or have you kind of zoomed out on this? And not everyone has that mindset. So I love hearing that from you because it's something that I think not being like naively optimistic, but being like realistic and like trying to figure out what the best path forward is so good.
Amen. If you love something hard enough, you'll overcome it and you'll be proud to find a new solution.
For sure, for sure. All right. I'll hit you with two questions. And so one would be, what do you think is the most common question or biggest thing that you get asked about Real when you're, having conversations with people that are potentially looking at coming over?
Is it an MLM? Damn, I get hit with that a lot. Is it an MLM? Is a big question. And I mean, I have one of the best rebuttals, and that is every single agency is an MLM if you want to look at it that way, which is the only ones that are promoting it. So every broker, technically, for every agency is recruiting. So they're the only ones getting incentivized. The agents at the company usually aren't, unless they have a team, but not everyone has a team. Therefore, Real allows everyone to attract at the company, and everyone gets an opportunity to be incentivized, as opposed to just the broker. And we promote that and showcase that we have another way to offer incentivized ways of making income. Like, that's really it. So if you want to look at it as an M&M, go for it. But we're not buying our own product. I'm not listing a house and then going and buying it to sell it again. Like, I don't know. So that's a big question.
Well, I also, I totally agree, right? Because it kind of just like flips who gets paid. The other thing that I always kind of look at is like a lot of brokerages spend a ton of money on like running commercials and running ads on job boards and things like that. And so the attraction model and agents bringing on agents instead of like the brokerage bringing on agents is just kind of a little bit of a shift of the focus. And that way I think we're able to connect with and help like-minded individuals join us and then grow with us, which is really fun.
Yeah. The second question I get asked a lot is it still, am I still on time to join Real? Like, am I too late? Did I miss the train? And I don't think anyone has missed the train. Whether you joined 5 years ago or joining now, I think you're still in a very good position to grow in your area, in your network, in your way of bringing on the right people into your network, into the family. I think it's still very early.
No, and I think that, if I had to sell you on early opportunity and that was the only thing I had to sell you on, then it's like you'd be changing brokerages every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Because there's just always new brokerages coming out and always, different things that are happening. And so like if that were the case, then you'd probably be jumping ship every time for a new shiny penny. And so I think, the conversations that we're involved in are like, how can we build a better brokerage? How can we build something where our agents will come and stay? Not just how can we go get more agents? Like, how can we build a better brokerage for the people that are here?
Right on. Right on.
All right. Where can someone connect with you?
Instagram, Stulak. Message me. I'll probably send you a message back, video message or something.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in person sometime soon.
Appreciate you too.